I guess just
Recording in progress.
before we get into the specifics of how practice is going, just kind of a update on the progress of Rocket and Tolu right now.
You know, Rocket has been doing really well. He has been making good progress. He had a little soreness day before yesterday after going really hard for about an hour in his glute, and so he had we backed him off yesterday and today, and I think it'll improve. It's kind of normal after being basically not running for 3 or 4 months. And then Tolu is now walking. He's got orthotics in, and he was on the Ultra G starting Tuesday. Yesterday was off. Today he'll be on the Ultra G again a little bit, doing some light jogging at about 60% of his weight. So that's both been positive for them. But we're going to be super conservative. There's just no timetable to be able to give you to say that they'll be back by such and such dates, kind of based on how they're feeling and how they're responding. That we're going to err on the side of caution, because once they come back, we want them to be back full time for good and not suffer any kind of relapse.
I know it's still kind of early in practice, and the season will dictate a lot of what I'm asking you here, but compared to last year, how do you feel about the perimeter shooting with these guys, especially with some of the new transfers you brought in?
Well, I think that Iverson's a better shooter than he was a year ago, which is saying something since he shot 44%. Shaquille Moore is a good shooter. We're definitely upgraded there. I think that all of our guys, in fact, have improved their ability to shoot the ball from the perimeter that return. Obviously Rocket, when he joins us, just watching him doing shooting drills, he's really done a nice job with his shot, improving on it from where he was a year ago. So I think Garrison gives us another perimeter shooter that really helps, because he can step out and make some open threes when he's wide open. And overall, I think it's improved.
Sokolov, go ahead.
Ben, before I ask you a question about Mississippi State, man, what is up with the Lakers? The loss against the Thunder on the road, man. What's up with this new group? Taking time to gel?
It's early in the year. Early in the year. I don't think LeBron played in that game, did he?
No.
The bigger disappointment are the Dodgers losing to the Braves. That hurt. But
well, you don't have Joel in the Zoom to give you any grief about that, so that's good.
But he's pretty happy right now. But I'm pulling for Mac the Mattress Man. I don't know if you guys are aware. Are you guys aware of this guy? He put $2 million down at the beginning of the playoffs on Houston, and if Houston wins it, he gets $22 million. That's like stunning. I could not believe that when I read that. 2 for 22. So he must have a little anxiety with what he's got riding on this thing.
I'd say so for sure. But back to your team, I think we talked to you about 2 weeks ago or so, or it might have been 3, I'm not even sure. What has been kind of the biggest development, you think, behind closed doors that something like us or fans haven't really noticed about your team that you're excited about?
I think we're in better condition. I just think that we're getting in better playing shape. We don't have any subs in practice, essentially. We've got 10 guys that are healthy, that are on scholarship, and they're playing an entire practice every day. We're getting more up and down. So I just think we're a lot better in terms of our overall conditioning, which is a big factor. I think we're better in terms of executing offensively. I think we've improved defensively. But the factor of being in better condition really matters moving forward.
Stefan, go ahead and hop in there.
Hey, Coach. It's kind of a weird situation this year because you've got, your freshmen and your sophomores who have never really played in front of, full stadiums and stuff like that at the collegiate level. I mean, what's this kind of adjustment like preparing them for playing in some tough road environments this season?
I think it's fun. I think for any player to go play on the road in a tough environment is something that you look forward to. It's us against the world, and when you win a game on the road, that's incredibly special. But it's definitely different than it was a year ago, and it's going to be different because last year was just a strange, situation where you could only have a limited number of people in your arenas throughout the conference. I mean, I'm loving watching, the SEC football games throughout our conference and just the great fan support and the crazy atmospheres at each of the stadiums throughout the league. And I look forward to that for basketball. I'm excited to see the COVID numbers going down. I read yesterday they're down 20% from where they were 2 weeks ago on a national level. So, things are trending in a positive direction in a lot of ways for us right now.
We'll go all the way up to Lexington and Jerry Tipton. Jerry, hop on in there for a couple.
Yeah, I apologize, Ben, for not having my picture on the screen, although that's maybe a bonus for everybody else. I wonder about DJ Jeffries. What sort of impact do you think he can make for you guys?
Well, he's going to be an important piece. DJ is versatile. He does a lot of things pretty well. He's a good passer. He's a very good help defender. He's long, athletic. I think he can create scoring for himself and for others. So he's going to be an important piece, and we're going to ask him to do a lot of things. Right now, he's playing basically the 3 spot, but he may have to even, play some guard for us early in the season until we get, at full strength.
And I wonder too, there's so many coaches in the league that have taken their teams deep into NCAA tournaments and so on, including you. I'm wondering how likely it is that one coach is going to out-coach another coach to get a win in the league.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. There's so many good coaches now in our league. And then when you look at, we've got Texas and Oklahoma coming, both with Final Four coaches' pedigrees. You're going to have half the league, the head coaches will have coached in the Final Four when they join. It's very impressive group of coaches, and outstanding coaches. So to your point, yeah, talent really matters. You got to have good players.
Thank you.
You bet.
Got time for a couple more. Again, remember to utilize that raise your hand function. We'll go to Theo. Theo, jump on in there.
Sure, Coach. Derek Fountain had such a big impact for you guys at the end of last season. What kind of improvements has he made coming into his sophomore year?
I think Derek's stronger, much stronger than he was a year ago at this time. He's got a better feel for the game. Last year he played mostly at the 3 for us, where as of now he's played most of his minutes at the 4. So that's a little different for him. I think it's advantageous at times for him offensively when he's spaced out going against a traditional big. He's a kid that we're counting on to be an important, contributor to this year's team. He just had a tough day yesterday saying goodbye to his grandmother, who he's very close to, that passed away this past week. And so he had a funeral yesterday back home in Holly Springs for his mom's mom. And, I was out of town recruiting. My assistant, George Brooks, went to the service. That was a beautiful service. And that she was obviously very, very well loved and very respected within that community. And so I know that they had a good celebration of her life.
We'll go ahead and introduce the coach to Andy, our new beat writer for the Clarion Ledger. I know Andy wasn't with us a couple of weeks ago when we had one of these calls. So Andy, go ahead and jump on in there.
Hey Ben, nice to meet you. Just when you look at the 4 freshmen you kind of have, do you expect any of them to kind of make an impact this year, kind of break into that rotation?
Our freshmen, are doing a good job in practice every day. And really, when you look at it, it's, Cameron Carter, who's playing both the point and the off guard, and Alden Applewhite. And definitely here early on, one of those two is going to have to be a part of the rotation in our season, and likely both of them. So they're both going to have a chance to contribute in games early on in this season. And we're playing a tough schedule. I know we open with North Alabama on the 10th, but then Montana, who's picked to win the Big Sky, who's very well coached. Guys are very, very good coach. I should probably have my head examined for playing them the second game of the season. They just beat Washington State in a scrimmage this past weekend. I talked to the Washington State coach today, and Washington State is supposed to have one of the best teams they've had there in a number of years. probably since, Tony Bennett was there. So Montana's going to be a real formidable opponent here coming up, and we're going to have to really, be ready to go here early in our season to have success.
Hey Garrison, how's it going?
Recording in progress.
I know you're an experienced guy, but obviously coming over with three new other transfers. I should say you guys are kind of meshing together. I mean, what's that kind of been like in the offseason, learning to play with some of these other guys?
Yeah, it's been a great experience. It's a new experience for all of us. I think it was key for us to come in and understand like we all have to be together on the same page for us to win games. I think that we've already established that, and we all had to understand we got to work very hard.
As one of those experienced guys, I mean, with how last year played out in the crowd, you guys have two classes now that have never really played in front of true road environments. I mean, what's your message kind of like to some of the younger guys as you guys get ready to play some tough road games?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of the things that you have to get out there and experience yourself. I don't think I could pretty much describe a road game, the nerves, the opponents, and that crowd. I can't really describe it for you. I think it's something that you have to dive in head first and experience yourself.
Andy, go ahead and hop in there for a couple.
Hey, Garrison. Ben Howland just said that Baldwin Applewhite, especially early on, is probably going to see some time on the court. What do you kind of see from him early on, just in practice? I don't know if you guard him too much, but what do you kind of see from him?
So I don't guard him too much, but I understand. I do see him. I notice that he's in the gym a lot. Understand he's always trying to watch film, see what he's doing, see what he can do better, and always get better on. He seems like an older guy. I give him stuff about that all the time, but I think that he's just very mature. I think that's why he'll experience some playing time early.
As a team, you kind of said like just kind of building the framework at this stage of the season. What do you guys kind of do like off the court to kind of build that bond? A lot of new guys. How do you kind of build that bond?
We always try to hang out. JD is one of the leaders that tries to get us all together all the time on off days. Even weekdays, just watch NBA games at his house. Just go hang out at places, like go out to eat. I think that's something that just builds chemistry, just being around each other all the time.
Theo, go ahead.
Garrison, what do you think about the depth of this roster with the four of your transfers, guys like Iverson and Tolu, and the other established contributors here at Mississippi State?
Right. I think we got a chance to do something really special. I think that's the goal. That was always the goal when we first came here. I think that with our experience and with the transfers, we have a chance to do something really special for this program. I think it all adds up once we have everybody back and healthy.